Hey guys, DomZaddy here. Today I'm just going to show you a quick and simple tutorial on how to create trees or foliage inside Blender. And then we're going to take that, put it into UEFN, import it, and create instance static mesh that we can paint on the land, create a forest, and then also just add a little bit of oomph to the material by using a material function provided by Epic that you guys can use straight out of the box to create a little bit of animation. Really make the leaves on your tree look that much more special. And to get started, you'll have to have Blender, which you can get online, or if you have something suitable. I just like to use Blender because it's easy and free. But you go to Edit, and then Preferences, and you search up Sapling. And whenever you do, you'll find an add-on or a plugin right here that comes just normally on Blender. It's called Sapling Tree Gen. And you'll refresh once you click that little check mark by it, activate it, and then close. The next step is to click Add or use the shortcut Shift A to bring up this menu. And then you'll click Curve and then Sapling Tree Gen. And as you can see, if we click on this rendering option here, we have a tree. Now this is just bare bones, but we can make it custom to fit our needs. And a couple of those things that you can edit are the custom shape. So if we go here, let's say we want 0.25, 0.75, 0.2, and I don't know, 0.1. You can kind of do this to your own discretion, make these trees really sing to your own kind of custom design and just make them really special. Change the branch distribution. I'm going to change it down to a 0.8. And then the branch rings, I'm going to do 3. Now, seed is a really awesome value because it allows you to get a bunch of different variations of the same tree. So if you wanted to, you could create a bunch of different meshes and then have a random seed on each one. So they're like the similar tree, but they're all in the same forest, and it's really useful to do that. And you can do it very easily this way. So we'll go with seed 5. Then the next setting we want to do is branch splitting. Change the levels, I say to about 4 or 5. I'm going to go to 4 on this one. I'm going to make the base split to be just 1. This is how many splits the main trunk has. I'm going to say 0 actually on that. And then trunk height, I'm going to make it a little bit taller. So 0.5. And then split height as well, I'm going to put this to 0.4 so that it's a little bit taller. And then you can also come down through here and change how many branches you have. I might, make these levels just a bit more thought out. Something like that. Change a little bit of the rotational angles just to make this more special, more unique, like I mentioned. There we go. And then finally, after we kind of get something that we really enjoy, I'm going to go to the leaves, and here we can click show leaves, and this will populate leaves along our branches. So now we have these weird leaves right here, and then I'm going to go ahead and change that. I want a little bit of less leaves, so I'm going to do like 75, and then I'm also going to change the leaf distribution. This is like the shape that the leaves spawn in, cylindrical, spherical, conical. You know what, I like that. That kind of gives me some very strange leaves. But now that I've done this, I want to actually, I think, increase the number of leaves. So we'll do 200. Let's do a bit more. Let's do 500. Yeah, I really like that. That's really beautiful. And then once we have that, I'll change this as well. I kind of want a downward slope to my leaves, so I'm going to do a negative 45 on the leaf angle. So they're kind of weeping, kind of like a weeping willow. And then the most important thing is go back to geometry and name your tree. We'll go ahead and just name this fuzzy tree and then export this preset. And this will actually save that type of tree in there. So let's do fuzzy tree 1 for this. Export preset, and it'll save it in here as a preset that you can work with at a later time. All you have to do is come back in, change the seed on it, and then go back into branch splitting, change it back to level 4, and then go back into the leaves and turn the leaves back on. And now we have a different variant of it. Of course, once we have that all set up, then we can actually go over here and look at the individual meshes. So we have the curve of the tree trunk and then the leaves. And the first thing we want to do is go ahead and create a material. So click on this little red circle down here, create a material. This being the trunk of the tree, we want to rename this to trunk. And we can change this base color to a little bit like off-white, something like that. Then we have the leaves, and we want to do the same thing. So red circle, new, and name this leaves. And I will go with an autumn color, a bit of an off orange, burnt orange, something like that. Perfect. And then in order to see those changes, we can actually change the rendering mode, and this is what they look like. Unlit, of course. Looks awesome. Next step is to go to File, Export, FBX. And we will name this fuzzytree.fbx. And for this example, we're just going to save it to the desktop, but of course, if you're using your own organizational methods, you can save it wherever you like. Then next, we're going to go back into UEFN, and I'm going to go to my meshes and props folder and import our fuzzy tree FBX. And then a very important toggleable feature here is to combine meshes. This will make sure that your trunk and your leaves are combined into one object that you can manipulate. It's also just one singular stacked mesh. And we'll click import. All right, and then once it's introduced, it's as simple as that. We can, of course, pull out the mesh, look at it in the world. Oh, that looks pretty incredible. A little stylistic, wispy-looking tree of some sort. And then the next step to make this a bit more special is to take the leaves material and go into that. And then we'll use this amazing function that Epic provides. To get it, we go to Epic, this folder right here, materials, functions, and then we'll search grass. And you'll see this one here called Simple Grass Wind. And you just want to grab that and drag it in. And Epic provides this. You can use it in any project. You know, I like to use it on all my different amounts of foliage. And it's pretty amazing. In order to use it, we want to plug the result into the world position offset. And then we'll need to create 3 parameters that we can edit in a material instance later on. First one will be intensity. The second one will be weight. And the third one will be speed. And all of these affect the animation in some regard, which I will show you what that looks like. So speed into speed, weight into weight, and intensity into intensity. And then finally, for additional WPO, we do a vector 3. So hold down 3 and pull that out and take the white dot and plug it right there. And then we're going to save this material. And once we've done that, we can clear this out. We can go back to our meshes and props folder. We can take this and right click on it, create a material instance, and now we can edit those parameters at will. So we'll click all of these and change this intensity to about 0.5, change the speed to 0.45, let's say the weight to about 0.6, and we'll save it. And then we'll grab the mesh, we'll go ahead and open that up, we'll trade out this leaves material right here for our leaves instance material, and now they're moving. Now you can see them move. Another couple of things that I like to do is to make sure your LOD is at 0 so they don't really pop in and out as much. I might also change the LOD for collision to 0 and then actually change the collision down here to complex collision as a simple. And if we show you what that looks like, we can go ahead and show you complex collision, and it just makes things a little bit more unique for trees so that you're not running into a large box of collision. We'll save that. And then our next step is to use the Foliage tool to create this as a brush that you can paint onto your landscape and platforms. You click Selection Mode, then you go to Foliage, and you click the green plus sign next to Foliage, and create a static mesh foliage asset. And we will name this Fuzzy Tree Foliage. And this is an instant static mesh. Now in that, there are a lot of different values you can change. The important ones, however, are the mesh. So we'll grab our little mesh and throw it up in there. And then you can look at align to normal, that aligns it to the plane that you're putting it on, be it the platform, the landscape. You can look at angle and yaw and slope and height, and this really just kind of lets you place them on certain heights but not others, and then just make them a bit more unique to each specific example, a little bit more variation in each one. You can change the fall off curve, your clustering right here, how close together they spawn, how much average distance is between each one, and really just make this a lot more to your liking. You can technically use this on any project that you really want. But once we've done that, we want to save, and then we come over into our foliage tool and we click this little check mark. And this is really the high point of it all. Make sure you look at your paint density, see how many trees you're trying to paint at one time. We'll go with 0.3 for this example. Your brush size, however large or small you'd like it to be, we'll do 512. I think that's perfectly good. And then you just simply paint your trees on. And now you have a lovely forest of custom trees with little animations. And you can kind of do this for your worlds and make them pop a bit more. Also, just make them stand out from all the other things that are out there. But yeah, that's it. This is how you can create the foliage of your dreams with a workflow from Blender to UEFN to instant static mesh, and also just kind of have that growth, show everyone what you're capable of. A simple tutorial in its finest. Thank you guys so much. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask. Just comment down below. Let me know what kind of tutorials you'd like to see in the future. And then as always, stay calm and listen to Dom.